I started drawing and painting when I was very small, and I continued through my childhood and eventually went to school for art. I went to art college, and then I went for a master's degree to eventually be an art teacher as well. Being an art educator affects my work because I learn things from the kids all the time. So I know it seems that I should be teaching them, however, they are teaching me as well. There's a reciprocity with teaching where they can do something and you see a little color combination and you're like, I'm going to remember that, I'm going to try that. And things that I learn while I'm working, because it's a process, you know, like even if you have something in your head and you think that's how it's going to come out, in the process it may lead you in a slightly different direction. So in my process, sometimes I learn things or see things that are applicable to my teaching, and I'll write it down and I'll bring it back to the classroom and say, hey, take a look at this, or I thought of this great idea while I was working on this. So it's a both-way kind of thing, being a teacher. Definitely color and texture. I think you can see that in my art. I think I wouldn't do art if I didn't have color to use, because I just love the way color interacts and mixing new colors. And certainly there's a nature theme. You see a lot of florals. So I like to start with a washed layer. And after I do that, then often I sketch in just basic shapes, and I edit while I'm sketching, so it won't be exactly like what I was looking at. I just look for things that are standing out or actually asking me to draw them somehow. Then I will go in and block out with colors certain shapes, and then I start working into more of the highlights and shadows of each color. And then sometimes you see kind of thick squiggly lines in my art. I mix up an acrylic paint with a gel and I put them in squeeze tubes, and that's my way of kind of redrawing back on top. If I feel like an area needs just a little more pizzazz, it just gives it a little something extra. Well, the Artist Guild gets a lot of great demonstrators in, and I like to go to those to see different techniques, because I kind of feel like you're never too old to keep learning. So recently there was a woman in who did printing with gel plates, so I went out and got gel plates and I've been playing with those. Or even though I know how to use watercolors or acrylics or other media, definitely you see new ways of using it, so it kind of opens up your mind. I love their demonstrations. An expression of myself somehow, but not only myself, it's an expression of what I'm looking at. So I like to look at patterns and kind of sense some sort of energy that's coming from what I'm looking at and try to put that into paint. There's such a difference between painting from live flowers, for example, compared to craft flowers. They don't have the life or the energy that's coming from them, so I like to pick up on that. I also illustrate, so I was hired about a year ago to illustrate this game called The Butterfly Garden, and inside there's lots and lots of cards that are painted with flower imagery and butterfly imagery that I invented, actually. I did a lot of research and invented the different kinds of butterflies. But I think this is just great to show here. Here would be the box cover art that was then scanned and then put onto the game cover, and you can tell where it folded over, and then a graphic artist overlaid lettering. I do all kinds of things. Anything that I can do with color, that's my thing.